Good morning, I hope everyone's well today. Our globalist two-tier Prime Minister, Keir Starmer, has managed to make a bad deal with the EU even worse with his Brexit reset. And I wanted to go through some of the finer points with it. There's a bit to get through, so you're going to have to bear with me, but hopefully I will make some good points. Consider liking and subscribing if you think I'm onto something. The first thing is we look at some of the details here. On fishing, the current deal that we have with the EU on our own coastal waters is going to remain in place until at least 2038, according to this deal. The situation is no parliament is meant to bind another parliament. So whilst it is true that a future, more Brexity parliament could actually veto and get rid of this deal, it would be subjected to harsh penalties because it's in the small print, and the Labour government has just signed this away. The absurdity of our coastal waters is something I want to harper on for a moment or two. At the moment we have foreign vessels that plunder our waters. They land the catch, British fish, by foreign vessels, and they can resell those goods to us as their product. So a fisherman from Spain can go into British waters under an EU deal and licence, catch our own fish and sell it back to us. This is patently ridiculous. It's our fish, it's our product, it's our commodity, and yet we have to buy it back and pretend it's from Spain. It's pathetic. Alright? And then we look at other parts of the deal. First and finally on that point, fishermen are saying that this is going to end the fishing industry, and there's many people in the UK that are in the industry and they're saying they're going to leave the UK for Spain. That's not good for anybody. This is a price of globalisation, and it's a price that I'm not prepared to pay, and I don't think that we should be paying. When we globalise the British economy, we sacrificed people in local communities all over the country for the bottom line, and that's not good for anybody, because not only were these industries and these towns and cities strip mined and farmed out to cheaper manufacturers and other service providers overseas, nothing replaced them, so these communities remain a shell of their former glory. And this is one of the biggest betrayals since the 1970s that both parties are guilty of. Rant over. On to food standards. The UK will get reduced checks into food exports into the EU, and we can now sell burgers and sausages, raw burgers and sausages, back into the EU. I don't actually care either way on that point. On defence, there's a UK-EU Defence and Security Pact that's been established, and the government says it will pave the way for the UK-based arms firms to have access to security action from Europe. A 100 billion or 150 billion EU fund provided loans for defence projects. There's no guarantee of any contracts from this. This just means that we have the right to bid on these contracts, and we're paying for the privilege. That doesn't sound like a good deal for us. Again, it sounds like a very good deal for the EU. No wonder they bit Starmer's hand off and licked his hand like a big dumb dog. He's basically given away the knicker drawer, and he's not even asking them to buy him dinner. It's pathetic. Then we look at the passport checks and youth mobility schemes. Okay, they're back, so we're going to get more freedom of movement from Europeans. I think this is limited to the 18 to 30 bracket, but it's more. The youth experience scheme, but this will be subject to further negotiations. What I understand of this is that there's not going to be any particular cap on this. Now, a lot of people can say, well, that's good. Again, it's only good for people that want to use the scheme. It's only good for people that want to do that. What if you don't want to do that? What if you're a young person and you just want to get on and make the best of things in your own country? All of this is thrown away in the name of a dying project. And again, that's not something I want, which is why I voted for Brexit. And, benefit, all of this has been given away, but you may get shorter queues at the airport. Okay, your entire country is going to be sold away but you may get a little bit less of an inconvenience at the airports. It's disgusting. It's a disgrace. It's an international embarrassment, and it's probably one of the worst things that Starmer's done since he's got in. Then we look onto this particular thing now. This is not widely reported in the media, but I'm going to bring it up here. The most ambitious part of the plan is energy. Both sides have agreed the UK will effectively rejoin the single market for electricity and follow EU regulations with oversight from the European Court of European Court of Justice, a move that could spark anger from Eurosceptics back in London. They have decided to explore UK participation in the UK energy market and electricity market, says von der Leyen. The two sides have agreed to work towards linking our emission trading system. So, that's pathetic as well. We've no longer got an independent net zero policy and no longer got an independent energy policy. We're going to be in hoc to the European Union for that as well. But when you look at trade since Brexit, when you look at the trade that we do with the EU since 2020, it's gone up and up and up each year, our trade into the EU. So people can say we've really had a damaged trading relationship with Europe due to Brexit. But if you look at the numbers here, they keep on going up and up and up all the way through. That's not borne out in the data. The data clearly says that trade's increased. The data clearly says that it's not been really a net detriment to the UK. It's nip and tuck at best. All of this because the globalists want control of our country. What was given up? Everything. What have we got actually out of it? There's improved access to some elements of the single market, but that shouldn't be a deal breaker for anybody, especially people watching my channel, I don't think. This is capitulation, and this is to get us as close to the EU by the back door as possible. Brexit was never allowed to work. We never stopped aligning with the EU on any regulations, really, and it was all basically transported into British law. So when people say Brexit has failed, I would counter and say no, that's not true. We've had a parliament of Remainers and Remainers ever since. Brexit hasn't failed because Brexit hasn't really ever been tried. We were punished with Brexit, mass migration from the third world. They thought they would troll the British public. I'm calling them out on all of this BS and making sure that you know that there's people out there that are willing to do so. If you like this video, consider liking and subscribing, and I'll see you in the next one later on today. I appreciate your time. Thank you.